boy, do we have a good one to kick off 2020-2021 on NBA TV. Fresh off his career-high 44, G.M.R going up against Trae Young. That's coming up in a bit. How about Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers in action at Madison Square Garden tonight against the Knicks? And it is going to be the season debut of the bearded one. No, not Santa Claus 3D. It's James Harden. He's out in Portland. As we welcome you into the CarMax pregame show. Later, we'll hear from NBA champion Brendan Haywood. First, we hear from Dennis Slim Scott.
Hey, how you doing? They call me Quarantine Lean, baby. Quarantine Lean.
All right, Skinny. I'm Jared Greenberg. We're with you for the next 30 minutes, part of a triple header on Saturday. Where else would you rather be than here? And hopefully today we come up with some better basketball than we saw yesterday with Blowout City. We're due for good basketball, starting with the game you're going to see on NBA TV, Ja versus Trae.
You're talking about Christmas the day late? That's all right. I'll still take my gifts because 2 point guards off to great starts, 44 and 37, even though Ja had the loss. But you like the fact that he stays in attack mode. Most people say, did you work on your jump shot? Well, he knocked a few mid-range jump shots down. But, Jared, that defense, attacking the rim, and like that highlight we showed, throwing the ball off the backboard, incredible. Tracy McGrady was going crazy over there watching. Now, on the flip side of that, Trae Young, Sharon, Collins, alley-oop, get Capella involved, alley-oop, shooting his three. Now you have enough pieces, Gallinari, Hawks fans. I know right now we're still trying to figure out when you can get back into State Farm Arena, but when you're able to, you have a team now with a young core with some veterans that they brought in to make this much-watched TV here in the Atlanta area.
All right, so 10 games today. First on NBA TV, just after 5 o'clock Eastern. It's the Hawks and Grizzlies. Then we're off to New York City for the Knicks and the 76ers. Then later tonight, a game we were wondering if we would have it on our air, if it would be played. Right. The Houston Rockets in action tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. It's our nightcap tonight at just after 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Harden's there. Many other Rockets not there. Harden addressed the media earlier today ahead of his season debut. Does he want to be traded? Well, here's Harden.
Individually, for me, it's just being the best basketball player on the floor every single night. And then as far as team, making sure that I can help my teammates be the best player that they can be, every single night on the floor. Obviously, every night isn't going to work out that way, but, once you have that mentality, more than not, good things will happen for you and the entire team. So just try to go out there and be the best that I can be.
Oh, James Harden. Always fun to hear from him, and a man who covers Harden on a daily basis for The Athletic. That is Kelly Iko joining us here to preview that game again. Rockets-Blazers later on tonight. Rockets had their season opener postponed against the Thunder. And Kelly, let's get into, first and foremost, who is going to be available for the Rockets tonight, in addition to Harden?
Christian Wood will be there, Daniel House, Sterling Brown, those kind of fringe rotational players. Obviously, without Eric Gordon, DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, Ben McLemore, K.J. Martin, you are kind of thin in your rotation. But they have guys that will be there tonight, and they'll see what they got for the season opener.
All right, so let's get into that aspect of the players who will not be there. Wall, Cousins, Gordon all have to do an additional quarantine. What are you hearing about why they have to serve additional quarantine periods?
I think it's in line with what the league wants to do in terms of the COVID protocol. Obviously, it's something that the NBA is taking very seriously. And with the 7-day quarantine, it's sending the message that the league is not, taking this thing very lightly. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So I do understand why you would want to have those guys sit out for a week.
All right, let's get to Harden now. Obviously, we know about all the rumors. He wants to be traded. He's still not happy with organizational decision. So how does that affect him with all this other stuff that's in the air with the Houston Rockets tonight against the Portland Trailblazers? How do you expect him to play?
I think Harden is somebody who, if the game starts, he's going to be aggressive. Who wants to win the game. He's going to want to play with those guys on the floor. As far as the on-court stuff, off-court stuff, that will take care of itself. But tonight in Portland, his job is to win the game. So whoever's on the team with him, his job is to get that done.
What are you hearing from Stephen Silas about all of this?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate the kind of thing he's been put in. Obviously it's great to have him in the league and as a first-time head coach. And he was kind of, the sounding board for all of the complaints and all of the issues, with Harden. But, he wants to coach his team. He wants to coach James Harden. He wants to coach John Wall. He wants to take the team to a championship. And so far, so good in terms of the things he's brought to the offense, ball movement, less isolations, more player movement, action, stuff like that. But practice is one thing, preseason is another thing. You won't know how he really does until the regular season starts tonight in Portland. So I think it's a good start for him, a good first step for him to go.
All right, well, we'll continue to follow as the Rockets go here. Kelly Iko from The Athletic will continue to read your work as well. Let's go back to Dennis Scott and get your thoughts on the mess that is the Houston Rockets right now. They don't have 4 key role players tonight. They do get James Harden, but he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, the COVID thing you can understand, but the mess is how James Harden's going about his business, in my opinion. So, James, last 4 or 5 years has been in that MVP, best player in the league, scoring title, and all that great stuff. So, if you go about your business the right way, I go back to Jerry when we talked about Kyrie a couple years ago, to how he hit his agent, how he got out of Cleveland. You may not like it, but he didn't go into the media right away. He went and spoke to the owner. LeBron didn't want to be here. Can you move me now? And it happened. So, James, you're getting paid handsomely. You turned down $3 million to get 50, be the first guy to be $50 million paid in the NBA. You turn that down, you don't want to be there. Okay, you show up late, you go party with little baby. I get all that, James. Why are you not in shape? Why are you not in camp on time? All the things that the rest of your teammates have to do. And then handle your business the right way, just like Russell Westbrook. He's in Washington now, right? So something happened behind closed doors, or something made it very clear they got rid of him and moved on. And now you see around the NBA, if something doesn't work, you got to move on and keep it moving and sit down with that player and get the best you can. Because, Jerry, we talked about this many times. You're not going to get the same value today, but you got to get something.
Yeah, and it goes back to the whole conversation we've had for the last several years about player empowerment, which is a fantastic thing in this league.
Correct.
I think most people would agree what James Harden is doing right now is abuse of power.
I agree.
It's not player empowerment. It's you didn't like Dwight Howard, so he got out of town. You wanted Chris Paul. It didn't work. He's left. You wanted Russell Westbrook. That didn't work. He's gone. Your coach left. Your general manager left. And now you're upset about being in a place that's paying you over $40 million a year.
Bring your hard hat, James. James, we know how good you are. We know the conversation that you've put yourself in by being a great basketball player. Only thing we're asking is just step your leadership up to the next level and show and prove. If you're unhappy at where you are, you and your agent sit down behind closed doors and try to make something happen versus the way you're handling things now. Now you're questioning if you're the future team to go to, Jared. Yeah. Do I want this guy to come? Do I want it? Do I really want to mess up my young core guys who I'm building for the future, have done all the right things, that I'm bringing in a perennial all-star, Olympian, has been to the finals, but he's 31, 32. Does he have 3 or 4 of those kind of years that he's shown us the last 4 years to put with this young talent or the talent I'm willing to give up to get him? That's the part where, James, you're kind of abusing your power a little bit.
Yeah, and as he's shown, he had the organization cater to him for years, and then now he doesn't like what's happening, and you're going to bring him into your organization, he's going to act like this again. When you said you have to give up as much as they do.
You do.
One of the reports out there is Portland may be interested. Don't have any definitive word yet on what Portland would offer. A lot of people are speculating it would be C.J. McCollum coming back to Houston. Obviously, the Athletic report, Kelly's colleague Sam Amick reported that Neil O'Shea's got deep ties to James Harden going back to their days in L.A. So is that a fit?
I'm going to say no right now today because now we're saying we know Dame does Dame time, which he's earned the same thing, and his leadership has proven it. C.J., he's kind of earned that same ilk of being out there in Portland now.
Yep.
And let's put the key C on top of it, not captain, character. So now you want to give up that kind of player in C.J. McCollum, what he's proven in this NBA and the way he's respected. That's the part I would question in that move. Player for player, yeah, James probably a better player and all that good stuff. The numbers probably would argue that he's better, no question. But Will that mix with Dame? Will that mix with Carmelo? Will that mix with the bigs you brought back?
Yeah.
You know, is the defense going to hurt now because we know James is going to play defense when he wants to? So all those type of things, you got to weigh out those pros and cons as general managers do.
And one more point on this, and again, you'll see the Blazers and Rockets tonight, 10 Eastern on NBA TV. With these guys who are in the locker room now, with, as Kelly talked about, with Stephen Silas in his first year, you're coming in with a plan to the year. We wanted to compete for a playoff spot. And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks before the season, everything blows up. Russell Westbrook wants out. He gets traded. James, what do you do with him? Do you turn to player development or do you focus on winning? We know in the NBA it's very hard to do both. So what's the mentality tonight, game one for the Houston Rockets, with James Harden clearly wanting out and on his own agenda?
The players that are healthy and the players that are clear to play, just go out there and play as hard as you can, play the right way, and it's give Coach Silas your 100% effort. And I think I want to say this for retired players and active players. Coach Silas was having an opportunity, and most guys were saying, James, how come you want to bring your hard hat for Coach Silas and what he's been through and worked his way to get his first opportunity to be a head coach, and you're treating him this way? So I just want to say that for a lot of ex-players out there. I know that's kind of speaking in social media and saying certain things, so I'm going to say it for them.
Yeah, so you just saw there, no Wall, no Cousins, no Eric Gordon. Tonight, James Harden will make his season debut for the Rockets against the Blazers. We'll have it for you as part of our nightcap triple header to kick off our season coverage live at NBA TV. It starts with the Rookie of the Year, G.M.R. at home in Memphis against Trae Young. Ja coming off.
Don't drop him again, Ja.
44 points. He was amazing. 34 of